And I never will forget the day we met. Girl, I'm gonna miss you. I slam it, jam it, and make sure it's broke. Crisscross will make you jump, jump. You down with OPP? Yeah, you know me. We are a part of the Rhythm Nation. Hi everyone. Today I'm turning in my video book report called The Blackest States in America. America is a very diverse place. According to Wikipedia, there are 7 major races in America. White Americans make up 75%, Hispanics or Latinos make up 12.5%, Black or African Americans make up 12.3%, and as you can see, other races make up about 5%. In the year 2000, Latinos passed Blacks to become the biggest minority in the US. Now, in today's video, we're going to talk about the states with the biggest Black population, talk about famous Black Americans, and reference a handful of Black stereotypes. And before you freak out, keep in mind, we did a video on the whitest states in America where we had fun with modern-day white stereotypes. Being white is so much less cool than it once was. Which states are hanging on to their whiteness the most? You could probably make a pretty good guess. It's the places where white people are still doing what white people do. You know, hunting, fishing, golfing, and being white. Keep in mind, any stereotypes I reference are not my personal opinion. Don't freak out. So in honor of Black History Month, which just passed, let's begin our analysis on the blackest states in America. We begin our tour of the blackest states in America with the state of Tennessee. In Tennessee, the percentage of Black residents is 16.7%. For comparison, the whitest state in America, Montana, the Black population is 0.2%. There are also only 2,359 Black Americans in the entire state of Montana. In Tennessee, there are 929,864 Black Americans. That means there are 394 times more African Americans in Tennessee than there are in Montana. Here in Tennessee, the large metro areas such as Memphis make up a large percentage of the Black population. In Memphis, more than 2/3 of the population is Black. That's the 10th highest ratio of Black citizens in America. For comparison, in Detroit, the Black population is 82%. Other cities in Tennessee with a majority of Blacks include Bolivar, Brownsville, and Whiteville. Most of Tennessee's Black population lived in the condition of slavery from the colonial era until the conclusion of the Civil War in 1865. Green Bay Packer Reggie White, disco singer Edmund Silvers, and rapper Young Buck are all from Tennessee. According to ABC News, the most popular Black names in America are Deshaun, DeAndre, Marquise, Darnell, Terrell, Malik, Trayvon, and Brody. Now we're going to remain in the South as we visit our next blackest state in America, Virginia. Here, the percentage of Blacks is 18.8%. That's 2 percentage points higher than in Tennessee. Virginia is the first state where Africans were introduced into America in 1619. What's interesting about Virginia is the Black population is actually decreasing here. Here in Virginia, Petersburg, Emporia, and Franklin have the largest Black populations. Petersburg is 75% Black. Virginia Beach is 20% Black, and it has the highest number of African Americans in a city in Virginia. Hampton University's here. It was one of the first Black colleges in the U.S. Brown versus Board of Education protests first started in Virginia. Those protests led to an end of racial segregation in public schools. Virginia also has the highest number of Black-white interracial marriages in the U.S. Bill Bojangles Robinson is from Virginia. He was a dancer best known for his tap dancing for child star Shirley Temple. Tennis star Arthur Ashe was born here. Chris Brown is a Virginia native. He's been in and out of trouble with the law. According to ABC News, the most popular Black female names include Imani, Ebony, Shanice, Aaliyah, Precious, Jaquandisha, Booty Isha, and Diamond. We're going to move on to our next blackest state in America, and it is North Carolina. In North Carolina, there are just over 10 million people. More than 2 million are Black, giving North Carolina a 21.2% Black population. Fayetteville has 200,000 residents and 42% are Black. Other cities with large Black populations in North Carolina are Kinston, Rocky Mount, and Wilson. Kinston's Black population is 65%. Durham, North Carolina is home to what is now called Black Wall Street. This was a financial center formed by several prominent black entrepreneurs. Booker T. Washington spoke many times about how relaxed the race relations were in Durham at the time. Harriet Jacobs, America's most famous female slave narrator, was born in Edenton. TV personality and writer Star Jones was born in Baden, and singer-rapper Jermaine Dupri grew up in Asheville. While doing research, I stumbled across an article that specifically talks about how the black population uses Twitter in a very unique way, and even use black tags to form tighter clusters, retweet each other more often, and use more @replies as a means to dominate conversations on Twitter. There's even a forum on Reddit called Black People Twitter, which focuses on this unique trend. Which of American states has the 7th most black Americans? Delaware. In Delaware, 21.3% of residents are black. The black population in Delaware has increased by 10% in the last 10 years. Wilmington and Dover are the biggest cities in Delaware and have the largest black populations. Wilmington's black population is 57% and Dover's is 40%. About a third of the total number of blacks in Delaware live in these two cities alone. Delaware State University in Dover is a historically black university where there's a higher than average number of black middle-class residents. Delaware was the first state to join the Union in 1787. It was also considered a border state, but Delaware didn't abolish slavery for good until the 13th Amendment passed in 1865. Notable black Americans from Delaware include NBA players A.J. English and Stevie Graham, and Franklin from Charlie Brown. According to the black publication The Root, the main issue the black population is too ashamed to talk about are the disproportionate number of black-on-black murders. According to the American Council on Science and Health, the black murder rate is 4 times higher than the national average. Missouri leads the nation for the highest black homicide rate per capita. Our next blackest state in America is Alabama. In Alabama, 26%, or more than 1 in 4 residents, is black, which is twice as high as the national average. That's a 4% increase in the last 10 years. Tuskegee, a city with 8,500 residents, is 95% black, the highest number of black residents in one city in the state of Alabama. Birmingham is 71% black, and it has the 4th highest black population in America. Nearby Montgomery is 57% black, which is the 9th highest black population in America.
Did you know the city of Black, Alabama is 95% white?
I did not know that, Mappy. Thanks for the research help, buddy. Perhaps the most memorable historical black event in Alabama took place in Montgomery. In 1955, Rosa Parks stood up against racial segregation by refusing to move to the back of the bus. That led to a chain of events in which President Lyndon Johnson's Civil Rights Act in 1964 outlawed racial segregation for good. Olympic gold medalist Carl Lewis, activist Angela Davis, superstar athlete Bo Jackson, and musician Clarence Carter are all from Alabama. Clarence Carter had a big influence on music that persists today. According to Wikipedia, the stereotypical black-infused music is rap and hip-hop, but blacks influenced musical styles ranging from country to jazz and classical. Where is our 5th blackest state in America? It's South Carolina. In South Carolina, 27% of the population is black. That is a 4.7 decrease from the black population 10 years ago, meaning South Carolina is one of only 2 states on this list to see a decrease in its black population as a percentage of the state's total population. Marion, South Carolina is the blackest city in the state at 78%. Columbia, the state's capital, is 40% black. There's a lengthy history regarding blacks in South Carolina, much of which surrounds slavery. Famous black Americans from South Carolina include musician Dizzy Gillespie and Dr. Benjamin Mays, known as the father of the modern civil rights movement. According to an article in Time magazine, there are several prevailing stereotypes regarding black hairstyles, including the straightening or pressed comb, cornrows, afro style, and dreadlocks. Where is our next blackest state in America? That's Maryland. The main reason Maryland has a large black population is because of Baltimore. Maryland's total population is 5.2 million. 29.3% of the population in Maryland is black, and 65% of Baltimore's 620,000 residents are black. A quarter of all blacks in Maryland are in Baltimore. Other cities in Maryland with a high black population are District Heights and Glenarden. In District Heights, the black population is 86%. Nearby Washington, D.C.'s black population is 60%. Since we're talking about D.C., we should mention that according to lots of polls, Donald Trump is getting more and more support from Black Americans as the 2020 election approaches. Many immigrants from the Horn of Africa have settled in Maryland, with large communities existing in the suburbs of D.C. The greater Washington, D.C. area has the largest population of Ethiopians outside of Africa. Harriet Tubman was born in Dorchester County, Maryland. She was a Civil War scout, honorary general, Union spy, nurse, and civil rights activist who helped rescue 70 enslaved people. Civil rights lawyer Thurgood Marshall, NAACP founder W.E. Du Bois, and rapper Rai Rai are also notable people born in the state of Maryland. There have been many black inventors throughout the years, many of which invented things we still use today. The traffic light was invented by Garrett Morgan in 1923. The Super Soaker was invented by Lonnie Johnson. Ironing boards, dustpans, and even lawnmowers were invented by Black Americans. Let's move on to our next blackest state in the U.S. It's Georgia. Georgia's black population is 31%, which is almost 1% higher than it was 10 years ago. In terms of actual numbers, there are 3.1 million African Americans in Georgia, second only to the state of Texas, which has 3.8 million Black Americans. Union City, an Atlanta suburb, has the highest black population in Georgia at 86%. Savannah, Georgia is 56% black. Atlanta's black population continues to move into the suburbs. 10 years ago, Atlanta was 61% black. Now it's 54% black. Historically, Georgia's population was half black up until the Civil War era, when a large number of black families moved from the rural South to the industrial North. Martin Luther King Jr. was born in Atlanta. He was an American Baptist minister and activist who became the most visible spokesperson and leader in the civil rights movement from 1954 until his assassination in 1968. As such, Atlanta is home to the National Center for Civil and Human Rights. Other famous people from Georgia are singer Kanye West, actress Raven Simone, and singer Ray Charles. Research was conducted on crack use in America among the black population, and thus a crack index study was completed in 2014. Georgia ranked fairly high on that study. New Jersey, New Mexico, Delaware, and Maryland all also ranked high. We mentioned 2 of those states earlier. Moving on, we come to the second blackest state in America, which is Louisiana. In Louisiana, 32% of residents are black, which is a 7% increase in the last 10 years. There are now 80,000 more Black Americans living in Louisiana than in a decade ago. Monroe suburb Bastrop and Baton Rouge suburb Baker are both small towns and have the highest concentration of blacks in Louisiana at 80%. New Orleans is 60% black, the 7th highest black population of large cities in the U.S. According to the ranking website Wall Street 24/7, Louisiana is the 7th worst state in America for blacks, citing low number of black Americans who own their homes, high black unemployment rates, high poverty rates, and the fact that African Americans in Louisiana are 5 times more likely to go to prison than any other state. Overall, the black poverty rate in America is still where it was in 1970. The slaves who were brought to Louisiana brought with them their cultural practices, languages, and religious beliefs rooted in spirit and ancestral worship, which were key elements of Louisiana voodoo. Today, voodoo still has its influence in Louisiana. Jambalaya, gumbo, and other southern soul foods have their roots in Louisiana too. Actor Tyler Perry, newsman Bryant Gumbel, and NBA great Karl Malone all have Louisiana roots. Which state is the blackest in America? It's probably going to be right here. Yep, Mississippi. In Mississippi, 37% of residents are black, which is 3% higher than it was 10 years ago. There are nearly 400 times more blacks in Mississippi than there are in the state of Montana. Jackson, Mississippi ranks 2nd in America for percentage of black residents at 80%. The only other city in America with a higher concentration of black Americans is Detroit. There's 10 cities in Mississippi with greater than 5,000 people that are at least 70% black. According to an article by NPR, there's a city of 12,000 people called Cleveland, Mississippi that is still not desegregated. Black people live on one side of the tracks and whites live on the other. Oprah Winfrey is from Mississippi. So is James Earl Jones. And record producer Ray J hails from Macomb, Mississippi. That's my book report on the blackest states in America. Here's my bibliography. Thanks for watching. It's a tragedy for me to see this video's over. And I'm never gonna forget the day I made it. Video, I'll miss you. Hey guys, if you learned something new or you just like this video, make sure to like it. And if you really like this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you get all of our videos about what it's like to live in different places in America. Peace.